Alright, today what we're adding and subtracting integers. Just like I told you with the last video, an integer is simply a whole number and its opposite. The whole number could be 2. The opposite of 2 is negative 2. The whole number could be negative 3,000. The opposite of negative 3,000 is positive 3,000. Alright, so let's start off with a simple one. Let's say we have the expression 6 minus 2. We all know 6 minus 2 is 4. But how can we represent that on a number line? We can simply read this as simply directions. 6 minus 2 is simply, we start off at 6. 6 is here on my number line. It's a positive 6 because it does not have a positive or a negative in front of it. It's just considered a positive 6. And since we are taking away 2, I am going to go left twice on my number line. And you can kind of consider subtraction. When you subtract, you're taking away. You can go left on the number line. Think of it as a negative. Same thing with addition. If you're adding, you're going to go right because you're adding 2. You're adding more to it. All right? It's a plus. So since I'm taking away, I'm going to start off at 6, and I'm going to go left twice on my number line. It should look like this. 1, 2. I end up at 4. Again, you can read the expression as directions. 6, start off at 6, go left twice. You will end up with 4. Next one. Let's say we have the expression 3 minus 3. 3 minus 3, again, we all know 3 minus 3 is 0. Read it from left to right, just like directions. Start off at 3, and we're going to subtract 3, so we're going to go left 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. We end up at 0. All right, now, this is important. If you add a number to its opposite, you get 0. This is called the inverse property of addition. Some people may ask you, what is the additive inverse of 3? When they say what is the additive inverse, they're simply asking you what is the opposite. So the additive inverse, or the opposite of 3, is simply negative 3. The additive inverse of negative 3 is simply positive 3. The additive inverse of negative 68 is simply what is the opposite of negative 68? Positive 68. All right, next one. I'm going to make this one a little bit more challenging, all right? The expression is simply negative 5 minus 2. What is negative 5 minus 2? Now, this one is not as easy as the previous two, all right? I'm going to read it from left to right as directions. I'm going to start off at a negative 5, which is here on my number line. And I am going to go left twice. 1, 2. Where do I end up? At negative 7. Therefore, negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. All right, next one. All right, let's say we have the expression negative 3 minus negative 2. All right, that's better. Negative 3 minus negative 2. We're going to read it from left to right, just like directions. We're going to start off at negative 3. It's going to be left of 0 because it's negative. And now, what we're going to do, now pay attention, this can get tricky. We're going to start off at negative 3, and this tells us to go left. But this negative here in parentheses say we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to start off at negative 3 and we're going to go left. No, we're going to go right 2. And this is why. You can kind of think about this as simply what is the opposite of the opposite. The opposite of the opposite always is positive. So with the number 2, what is the opposite of 2? Negative 2. What is the opposite of negative 2? Positive 2. Therefore, these two negatives simply positive. So my new expression could simply be negative 3 plus 2, and I could have my answer. So Now what we simply have is start off at -3, and we're going to go left. No, we're going to go right twice. 1, 2. End up at -1. Again, that can get tricky, but with practice, it's pretty simple. Start off at -3. We're going to go left. No, we're going to go right twice. All right, let's do another one. Let's say we have the expression -7 minus -3. -7 minus -3. Again, we can read it from left to right. We're going to start off at a -7. And this tells us that we're going to go left. No, we're going to go right 3. Again, that's a double negative. I can rewrite this expression as simply -7 plus 3. So start off at -7, and we're going to go right 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. We end up at -4. Again, the opposite of the opposite is always positive. The opposite of 3 here is -3. The opposite of -3 is positive. All right, let's do one more. Say we have the expression negative. No, let's go. We have the expression 0 minus 5. 0 minus 5. And this is fairly simple. We're going to start at 0, and we're going to go left 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where do we end up? At -5. Therefore, 0 minus 5 is -5. Now, I could use the commutative property of subtraction, and many teachers don't teach you that you can use commutative property of subtraction. But you simply can if you understand something. That if you use the commutative property of subtraction, meaning you're moving your numbers around, you have to simply add up the opposites. I can simply rewrite this expression as -5 plus 0. Again, the only thing I did, I just moved -5 to the front. -5 plus 0 is still -5.